conversation, we should be able to cover the following. Reasons for working on your profile as a language teacher, steps needed to create such profile, and a list of some professional development alternatives to choose from. So let's start first by how did the idea of creating a profile came up to me, and what is a profile for a language teacher? So the idea started when I was asked once to write a statement of purpose or a statement of interest to when applying to a job. And I just spent a few minutes asking myself, what am I going to write in this statement? So a profile is, it's defined as a brief of your top qualities, skills, courses you've given, courses you've delivered, training you've taken, PD you've tried out, everything. It defines you as a person and as a teacher. So in order to do this, we need to think, what are the different, why do I need to create a profile? What would be the reasons behind it? So why do you think we need to work on our profiles as language teacher? Believe it or not, sometimes we don't know what our potentials are until we sit down and write them. So some do this. So let's see what reasons it's more or less what you've said. So first of all, introduce to better understand your potentials. You sit down and you realize that you've got a lot of potentials that you were not aware of. To list your skills and experiences. And it doesn't matter, even if you're a novice teacher or even if you have not taught before, just think of everything you're good at, because believe it or not, even if you are an experienced babysitter to your relatives or family members, this works out. This makes you good with children. This makes you potentially to be trusted and a reliable person. When you work on your profile, it helps you to identify your areas of interest, because sometimes we think we are interested in a lot of things, but once we sit down and we write, we kind of narrow them down. And like one of the attendees said, you think of new opportunities and you get other people to see you for the right reason. And once you work on your profile, you will start connecting with people from in and outside of the industry instead of limiting yourself to a group of people. And finally, which is the main reason why I'm highly recommending working on your profile, is actually having a sense of purpose to develop. Because once you put this on paper, you will realize that maybe you need to work on different things that you haven't worked on before. Okay, so this would take us to what are different steps do we need before creating our profile? What do we need to think of before we create our own profile? So there are 4 things that I have tried out, and I think they helped me when I was creating my own profile. First of all, is to understand who I am as a person, what can I do, what I can do, what I'm good at, what do I need to work on, and the same as to who I am as a teacher. What are my traits? What do I know about my students? What things do I still need to learn about my students? What things do I need to try out? So identifying or learning about your identity as a person and teacher. And also where I am on my professional development timeline. So I draw a timeline and I say, this is where I am now, and this is where I want to be in the next few years. So, and this takes us to the next one, which is to investigate where I want to be in the next maybe couple of years. Is there a target I want to achieve? Where do I want to be? And then finally, to list feasible PD options. So once I have tried to understand myself as a person and a teacher and identified where I want to be, then I can choose from a list of options that we will go through in the next few slides. So we will start off by narrowing down our roadmap into 3 steps. Identify yourself, expand your network, and make an action plan. So let's start first by identifying yourself. What do you think are different ways to help you identify who you are? how can you help yourself understand yourself as a person and as a teacher? What are some of the suggestions different ways that I have tried myself? First of all is writing your teaching philosophy. So I was first introduced to this idea of teaching philosophy back in, I don't know, like maybe 15 years ago, when one of my professors in my MA said, your task is to write your teaching philosophy. And this is when I stopped and asked myself, what is a teaching philosophy? So I researched and I've realized that teaching philosophy is when you actually try to identify yourself as a teacher. You're describing yourself as a teacher. What you can do and what you can't do. What are your traits? What are your beliefs and values in teaching? What are things you do in order to understand your learners better? So I felt that teaching philosophy is a very good way of understanding who I am, what I believe in, and what I can and can't do. So one of you to identify yourself and like you've said in the chat box, asking others to observe me and come into my class with a task and sitting down later on with them and listening to what they have to say, because sometimes when we teach, we are so focused on what we're doing and we don't see what is the other side of our teaching. So asking others to observe you, asking your students as well to observe what you've done is also another good way of understanding yourself as a teacher and as a person. And trying reflective practice, and reflective practice is it's like self-evaluation and self-reflection, is when you sit down and you actually think of evaluate, analyze everything that has taken place, or come with some what and what did go well and what you need to work on next. And finally, reading more about psychology and reading more about social emotional competences. Understanding the students you work with and understanding their emotions, understanding the challenges they face in their everyday life. Because once you've done so, you will be able to work on it. And working on it means working on yourself as a teacher. So now, expanding your network. I mean, when we say network, we always think about our ELT network, like English Language Teaching Network. So let's see, what do you think are some of the benefits of networking with other people inside and outside, the ELT industry? So try to collect some of the ideas over the years. What would be some of the learning, what are some of the benefits? And they basically come to exactly like you said, developing, learning, understanding, sharing, helping, improving, having new friends, which is very important, because when you have new when you connect with new people, you learn from them. Sharing experiences, very good. Oh, getting a better job. So when you network, you can get to learn about other jobs, or you can appreciate the job you're already in. So this would be your second. We've identify ourselves as a person and as teachers. We've learned how to, we've looked at expanding our network. Now let's see some of the ideas of how you can expand your network. First idea is to become a member. So becoming a member can sometimes be costly. So you can be a member in any of the ELT institutions. It can be costly, but there are some free memberships that are here and there. Being a member is one way of meeting other people and getting to know other people. Another idea would be to join at SIG. So special interest groups are very specialized groups. You can be in the assessment SIG. So you can learn about assessment, and you can go in, you can see about item writing, what's happening in the assessment world. And You can be in the teacher educator SIG, which is to help train teachers. So there are a lot of SIGs out there that you can join. And then you can volunteer. You can volunteer by joining, volunteer your time or expertise, help others, go into a project which is starting and they need volunteer, put in the time you have or the expertise you have to help others. This will also expand your horizons because you will get to meet new people that you've not met before or you've not gotten a chance to see before. And finally, go outside your teaching world. So find a place which offers other projects that you've never tried before. So for example, if you want to work on helping young children, even though you're all about teaching adults. So there are a lot of camps which you can join during the summertime, and you can start learning from them. Or if you want to go to groups which talk about things like cooking or nature or psychology, anything that you might think is helpful to you to expand your horizons for personal growth. So anything that will help your network grow, not particularly to become only a better teacher, but also a better human being by talking to other people and learning about other challenges and about other experiences. Because sometimes when we learn about what's happening outside our world, as I said, we learn, appreciate what we have, and we can benefit the community we're in. So these are just some examples of what you can do in order to expand your network. So the whole idea is looking into what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your professional development in order to become a better person and a better teacher? And I have here a suggested roadmap. We're going to go over this roadmap and we're going to see by the end of the webinar which of this or these work best for you as a person and as a teacher in your own teaching context. So what I have done is I have thought of one professional development idea with all the alphabets. So basically from A to Z, professional development. We're going to look in the chat box now of different things that can go with these verbs. And then by the end of the webinar, you will be given a poll to decide which one of these can work out for you, or which one you've tried and which one you would want to try. And after we're done, maybe you can find from here a couple of ideas that you can take into action and try your own professional development roadmap. So let's start with attend. So we're going to do this. Let's do this as quick as possible so we can get as many ideas and as many alphabets as possible. In the chat box, if attend is one of the professional development plan, a free professional development plan we're offering, an affordable one, what do you think would collocate with attend? Attend, let's see in the chat box. Really quick, a couple of ideas. Excellent. Thank you very much, Rabab, sorry. Attend webinars, conferences. You can attend free webinars like the ones we're in here now, or you can go for paid ones. You can attend local ones in the community you're in, and you can attend international ones if you can actually afford it. Very good. Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, Google the local networking you're in. Look at your network and see what kind of webinars and conferences and workshops being offered in your neighborhood and go for it. And remember, you don't have to attend a workshop or a webinar that is directly relevant to your teaching context. Think of others, okay? Attend a workshop on parenting, for example, or on gardening, or besides the ones on teaching, because as I said, you would take in a lot of new information to pass to your students and to your own self. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. What about B, balance? What would be a professional development plan if we talk about balance? Balance or balance, what do you balance? When I thought about it, thank you, Robert. This is exactly what I was going to say now. It's actually balance your work life and PD. This is a very important point for your own well-being and for boosting your positivity and ensuring that you're not getting burnt out, because, well, I mean, this is one of the things a lot of us kind of suffer from. Thank you very much, Joe. Balance different types of PD, because you don't want to focus only on taking courses. You don't want to focus only on attending webinars. You want to balance. You want to find different things. Thank you very much. Excellent points. Okay. C, contribute. Okay. What do you think would collocate with contribute? Contribute ideas to others. Pass what you have learned in the workshops you've attended to other people who might not have the same privilege as you. Excellent. Contribute ideas, contribute things in that staff room. Very good. Once you've learned something, come back and share it with other people. Excellent. Okay. What about okay, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, contribute to the PD units. Okay, what about diversify? What are we calling for here when we talk about diversity? What say diversify the type of class you teach? So get out of your comfort zone. If you're always teaching adults, try teaching teenagers and kids. If you're always teaching general English, thank you very much. Teach different levels, different age group, different types of classes. This would also help in your PD. This is considered one of the points on your PD timeline. Okay, expand. We've already talked about expanding your network, expanding people you talk to, expanding who you share your ideas with. What about follow? Follow a blog, maybe, follow a forum, follow a discussion, okay? Follow people who are writing in your special interest, very good. Follow someone who's doing similar activities like you, excellent. Okay, generate. Follow our YouTube, yes? Thank you. Yes, very good one recently, active one, Robert, thank you. What about generate? Okay, generate new ideas. Thank you. Generate maybe excellent new materials, because yes, we always call for recycling because of time and because of we have very limited time, but we can always generate new materials and new ideas, new worksheets. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Help. I would say from all what you've said, it looks like we're just helping everyone. When we contribute, when we generate, when we follow, what do we need to invest in, or what do we need to invest? Okay, invest in our relationships. Very good. Invest in ourselves. So everything we've talked about means investing. Invest. If you have money, for example, if you have extra money, invest in trying new things. Excellent. Sometimes money. Excellent. Okay. Join. We already talked about this a bit earlier, about joining a group, local groups, joining SIGs, joining a new groups on social media that maybe we don't know anything on. Okay, very good. What about keep? What about keep? I would say keep a diary. Keep it going. Keep a diary. Keep a self-reflection diary. Keep it going. Keep it go. Okay, keep it easy. Very good. Excellent. Okay, learn. We're learning the whole way through. I mean, otherwise, no one reading these unless we learn. So what are very good. Learn about your students. And that's why when I started reading about emotional competences, I've learned a lot of things that I never knew I would be learning about my students, even after all these years of experience. Very good. Learn to move forward. Thank you very much. Learn a new language. Yes, we always I mean, think, why my students are having difficulty with this? But if you put yourself in their shoes and learn a new language, you will realize what kind of challenges they might be having. Okay, monitor. What about maybe monitor ourselves? Very good. Excellent. Our progress, our teaching, when we can do this by either self-reflections, by inviting people into our office, into our classes, by asking others to check what we're doing. Very good. Excellent. Negotiate. Why is negotiate one of the things on your professional development? Okay, negotiate a new idea, maybe negotiate a new type of class, negotiate a new piece of material, negotiate, okay, content with the excellent idea, negotiate content with the students. Sometimes we think we know everything and we know what's best for our students, but in fact, they sometimes have a voice and we need to give them some space for this. Very good. Thank you very much, Joe. Okay, what about observe? We have already said, observe others, observe, ask people to come and observe you, observe your what's happening in the field. Excellent. And then publish. Students, very good. Thank you. Body language. Wow. I'm going to save this chat box. What about I have felt for so many years before I started putting in any kind of contribution? I would think that publish means I have to be a writer, or I have to be a professional writer, or I have to be someone who is a member of an academic community. When the truth is, thank you very much, Maria, publish in a blog, publish an article, publish a lesson plan. Okay, it doesn't have to be, thank you, publish your students' work. It doesn't eat anything. Publish your videos, publish an experience. I mean, go into the class, try something out, come out and just publish how it went. It went well because, and it didn't go well because. So you're actually publishing what happened inside the classroom. Thank you. Reflections. Anything can go into publishing. And a lot of people have this kind of misconception that in order to publish in a magazine or in a journal, I have to be this kind of academic person with a PhD. Not true. Not true. Publish anything. And there are a lot of places which accept publications. And I'm gonna suggest some after we're done with this slide. Very good. Okay. What about research? Why is research one of the PD affordable plans for you? Thank you. Thank you. Research material. Research a new, very good. Thank you. Look at your material again. Remember when we talked about material and generating new ones? Thank you. Research and action research. Go into action research. And again, this is another misconception to a lot of people. A lot of people think that in order to try an action research, you must be a researcher in a lab or you must be a researcher in a university. Not true. Not true. If you go to your classroom at the beginning of the academic year and you write down a profile of your students and where they are before you started teaching, and you go stuff and you come out and you write a reflection, you can do it in your real classroom. You don't have to be a researcher. You can just be a teacher, a human being, even if you're researching, how they have responded to how you give them feedback, how they have responded to you negotiating content with them, how have they responded to the use of flashcard versus the board. A research, an action research can be anything that you try inside the classroom and writing down whether it worked or not and how it worked and why it worked and learning from it. So try doing this. Research also can be researching a language item, researching a new language item that you have not taught before. So you would learn a lot when you go and research for this item. And we go into speak. And speak is like publish, is like research, is like I mean, again, is people think that you have, in order to speak in a conference or a webinar or a workshop, you have to be this kind of super researcher. It's not true. if you ask your colleagues during break time and you sit in a circle and you speak about an experience you had in class, you've become a speaker. I mean, if your local community has webinars or workshops, try to take part in them, because when you do so, you're sharing what you know with others and you're helping others. So speaking doesn't have to cost you anything. It can just be in your local community. If you cannot travel or if you cannot submit what you have to other places. But I highly recommend you do so, because the experience of even writing an abstract and sending it and getting accepted. So speaking, this is one experience. Getting rejected and learning why you've been rejected, this is also an experience that you will learn from. And we talked about try, I think, all over the place when we talked about trying new ideas, trying new ideas, trying new material, trying new research, trying a new activity. All this is also something that we've already talked about. Write, same like publish. You write something, you publish it, and the simplest way to do it is to publish in your school magazine or in your newsletter. It's a university newsletter. So again, there is nothing that you cannot write and publish. Okay, we've talked also about volunteer. What about update? How is update? Why do you think update is in the list for professional development? What do you think we're calling for here? Update what? Down and think of all the CPD you have done, write it down. I bet you will have a whole page of your professional development. Yes, update your teaching skills, update your qualifications. I would say update your social media that you use for professional image. I mean, if you have for example, your LinkedIn, which is only for your professional work, then update your social media, like, for example, your LinkedIn. Add a new resume, updated by putting the things you have been doing lately, updated by introducing what you've worked on and what you've learned from it. If you be active and keep on updating things so people can learn about what you're doing and get actually inspired by what you're doing. Because as I said, we do I mean, I am sure and every one of us, whether sure or not, and regardless of where you must have worked and done some of these ideas before. So these are free / affordable professional development ideas that you can work on. And I have some suggestions to start your own professional development ideas. For example, if you're looking into publishing or sharing your own lesson plans or ideas or recorded lesson plans, you can go to TED Ed and you can just create an account for free, and you can start publishing your own lesson plans, and you can invite your students and you can invite other teachers to go and look at it and give you feedback on it. If you're looking into places where you can publish for free, there are some ideas. I'm sure there are a lot of other ideas for where you can publish your stuff, but these are the things that maybe I have tried. TESOL.org, either Share My Lesson is another free platform that accepts lessons from teachers who want to share their lesson plans. If you're looking for where to attend conferences and webinars, there is conferencealert.com. And you can choose a country where you want to attend, and it will tell you all the free and paid conferences and professional development events happening in your neighborhood and outside your neighborhood. If you're looking into contributing your ideas or creating your own forum so other teachers can help you, you can go to createaforum.com. Again, it's a free one. It has a lot of ideas where you can look at other people's forums, or you can create your own forum. So there are a lot of other ideas that will be on this slide once you go into the membership for Equals, and you will see a lot of the ideas that you can use for your professional development. So the idea is, just to sum up what I've been saying, you can find a way or two that you can use in order to professionally develop yourself. If you know what you want or where you want to be, you can select from the ideas we've talked about, and you can actually start doing it. And then once you've done so, you can put it on your profile. And I'm going to, if you scan this QR code, this will take you to my profile, and you can see that I have added all, for example, the conference attended, the I've taken, the videos I've recorded. So it kind of tells me, and maybe others who are looking into my profile, what I have done so far.